Okay, so far what I've done is I've screwed the boxes together. So I have lined up the boxes where I want them and put screws through the thickest pieces of the wood. So there's 2 screws there to hold this on, and then this one's got 2 screws there. I've just got to get that one to go down a bit further, but my arms are tired, so I'm just going to do that in a minute because I've done it by hand. So that's the sort of attic space main spell room bit. This will be where the 2 bedrooms will be, and this will be where the like sort of living room kitchen will be. I've just put these in just to give you an idea of size. So say the roof's going to be about there, and then there'd be like a bed and something in there, and the same for that one. And then up here is where I'm going to have my main spell room, so they'll have like the witch's table and that and everything in there. So yeah, that's the main shape of it, that's the main part of it. And then I've got to add some wood there. I've got to add like a roof bit there, roof on there, and like a top bit which would be like have a window for another attic space there, and then more sort of a bit more wood there because I want it to look really crooked. So yeah, that's what I've done so far, is I've just screwed it all together. I'm going to put the other bits of wood on and then paint it black, so I'll do that in a second. Then I cut some balsa wood. I've got these little, it comes as a big stick, like a big long length of balsa wood, and it's just like a square at the ends and not too thick. And then all I've done is use my craft knife to cut 4 pieces. It's a very lightweight wood. It's like what they'd use to make matches, that sort of thing. It's like a really light wood. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach, once I've levelled that off, I'll attach them to the sides there, and that's the support for, I'll put one there and one there, and that'll be the support for the floor. And I've got to do that to all the boxes. So, well, to the 2 bottom boxes, that's what I've got to do. So yep, I am going to stick those in place, and then I'll come back and show you what I'm doing next. To stick the pieces of like dowel type stuff to the box, I'm using this, and it's a contact adhesive. It's a bit stinky, so make sure you use it in a well ventilated room if you use the same stuff. And what you have to do is you apply it to both surfaces. So I've got a layer of glue there and a layer of glue there, and you have to give it 4 minutes to go tacky, and then once it goes tacky, then it will bond, and then that's it, it's stuck permanently. So that's what I'm doing at the moment, is I'm waiting for the 4 minutes, and then I'll stick these pieces in place, and then I'll show you what to do next. Okay, so now the like sort of dowel bits are dry, what I'm doing is cutting out some thin balsa wood to make the floor. This will make the divide between the bottom room and the top room in each box. And what I'm using for that is this really thin balsa wood. But what I'm going to do is I'm using this thin balsa wood. This will be like, sorry about my hand in that, that'll be like the base. And then what I'll do is take my lollipop sticks, and they'll go over the top to make like wooden flooring. Obviously I'll cut them up and lay them properly and everything. So this is going to be reinforced with lollipop sticks. So this is just like a sort of base layer, so I can stick my lollipop sticks on and reinforce it and everything. And I'm just using my hot glue gun to stick this to the dowels. The reason I stuck the dowels on with contact adhesive is because I wanted them to be a stronger bond, so it'll support any weight that I put on, even though it's not going to have a lot of weight anyway. So all I'm doing now is looking at how big my bit of balsa wood is compared to the box I'm working on, and all I do is just trim off what's needed. And what I'm doing is using my craft knife. So I just take my my metal ruler, get rid of the bits that are underneath. I just take my metal ruler, place it where we need it to go, and cut. And that cuts through this balsa wood dead easy. To be honest, you can cut this with scissors if you want, but it's a lot neater finish with a craft knife. And then what I do is, once I've cut the piece off that's the excess, I then test it to see if it fits. And as you can see, that fits fine. I just need another piece to come out to here. So what I'll do is cut another piece to this length and then just trim the width of it a bit. So I'll just do that. So I've cut 2 pieces the same length. I literally just put one on top of the other and cut it that way. And then as you can see, those will both fit into there. And then all I've got to do is make a mark on here where I want to trim it down. And this wood's so soft you can mark it with your fingernail, look. Oops, focus, focus. So I've marked that with my fingernail. All I've got to do is trim off that excess, and then it'll fit the same as this floor. And now, because I've trimmed that down, it is fairly flush with the edge of the box, which is what I was going for. I will put like a piece of beading or something across there later on, but for now that will do. I need to trim off a bit that end, I think. And then it's just a case of gluing that in place with hot glue. So I'm going to do that. Do, 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 do. Hot glue both ends. There we go. That's one in. And I will, look, the reason I'm going to reinforce this with lolly sticks as well is A, I can get the sort of wooden floor effect, and B, it'll strengthen this, because this wood is thin. It's really thin. There we go. So that's that floor. So there's 2 rooms. So that'll be Winnie's room and her sister's room. That'll be like the sort of living area and the kitchen. So I've got that bit so far. And you're probably thinking, hold on, you ain't cut a hole for the stairs. I'm not worrying about that. I will put stairs in. I'll cut that out later, I think. If I do cut it out, I might not even cut it out at all. So yeah, I shall have a think about that. I might even have the stairs like sort of run round a curve, go outside the back of the house, and then come back in, maybe something like that. I'm having a think with that, but I just wanted to get the basic floors down anyway. So that's the floors, and then I've got to add some wood here and some there, so it kind of looks like when Winnie and her sister made the house, that they use wood to support the sides, so it'll be like that sort of shape. And then there'll be wood sort of fascia on the front to cover up that gap. So yeah, and then I've got this little space here, and what I'm going to do is some of this excess wood I'm going to put in just to make sure I stabilise that a bit. So I'm going to glue some wood into place to support that as well. Next I've got to stick fascia boards on here, and what I'm doing is I'm taking lollipop sticks that I've cut the rounded ends off, and I put a blob of glue on either end and then stick it into place, and I want it to overlap slightly to create this texture. You can cut each individual one to the exact size, or you can do what I do, where I'm sticking on the fascia board and I'll cut off the excess afterwards. So it's literally just little blobs of glue either end, and stick it on so that they're overlapping like so. And I'm going to go all the way up on there. And just to give you a general idea of the shape of the house so far. Okay, progress so far. I have the floors in. I have the sort of fascia, as it were, on the front. like so, and the bit leading up to the roof. So it looks like that. And all this is layers of the small lollipop sticks where the ends are cut off, and they're laid on top of each other, overlapping slightly. And then for this side I've used large lollipop sticks and cut the ends off, and then use that to create roof tiles. Ignore the mess back there. It's not supposed to look like a perfectly new house or anything. Plus a couple of mistakes, but that's okay, I don't mind. It's going to look alright once it's painted. I've reinforced the floor. There's 2 lots of balsa wood on now, so each floor has got 2 lots of balsa wood on, so it's more secure. And there's Winnie at the top in her spell room, and then obviously it's going to get painted and everything and look a lot better once it's painted. I'm not going to show you the back yet or the sides because I haven't done those yet. I've run out of lollipop sticks, but that's the front. So if I move back a bit, that gives you a better idea of how it's looking. To make the roof tiles, what you need is some lollipop sticks, and you need the big ones, like, let's see if I've got one I haven't put up. You need the big lollipop sticks like this, the wide ones, about the width of your thumb. And what you do is cut them into 4 pieces and then round the edges. And obviously when you cut the 2 ends off, they're already rounded for you. But then what you do is when you've got the bit that's left, once you've cut the 2 ends off, cut it in half and round the edges so you can make more, and make make as many of these as you possibly can. And I'm going to use those to make the tiles on this part of the roof. And it's just a case of laying the tiles across and gluing them in place, laying the next lot and gluing them in place, and you go all the way up. And you do it like brickwork, so where you've got 2 tiles joined, you put the tile on top in between. So like, so I've got 2 tiles there, the next one will go on top. So make sure on your roof, if you stick your tiles on like so, make sure the next layer overlaps where the join is, like that. And that's how you will create your tiled roof. Like so. So I'm going to glue that on and then show you what to do next. So far, if I move back a bit, the house looks like this. Just about get all of it in shot. There you go. So that's the start of Tumbledown Cottage, and then I've got bare floors. I've got to do the floors. I've done the roof on this side, and no, it's not perfect, but it's not supposed to be perfect. It's supposed to be a really battered old house. It's a witch's house, so it's not supposed to look perfect. That's the whole idea. So Winnie's up in her spell room. I haven't painted anything yet. What I'm going to do next is paint everything, and then I'll work out what I want to do for flooring. At the moment I've just got some really thin balsa wood that's the flooring, but I want to give it all a base coat of black first, and then I'll work from there. What I've done at the back is I've put a thin layer of balsa wood as much as I can over the back, just to flatten it out a bit and make it look all even. I will put something over the top of that, I think, or I might just paint it and see how it looks. This bit I haven't covered, and the foam board there, because I've run out of balsa wood. But I'll see what I can do about that. But yeah, so the next stage is going to be painting. And all I've done to finish off the roofs, by the way, is thin strips of balsa wood that I've glued in position just to give it an edge to the roof, so you can't see all the tattiness underneath. And yeah, the next stage is going to be adding a layer of black acrylic paint over the whole thing, and then I'll start working on the interior. I've got to work on a chimney as well. I'm going to have like a fireplace here of some description, I think, and then the chimney breast, and then the chimney will come out here, and it'll be a crooked chimney. But I haven't worked on chimney or stairs or anything yet, so I'm going to work on that next. So this is what it looks like at the moment.